And welcome back to The Price of Business. This is Sigmund Kramer, and I have a very, very special guest, contributor to The Price of Business for several years now, Lance Malone with Standard Supply. They handle HVAC, but hey, I'll let Lance tell you about that. How are you doing, Lance?
I'm doing great, Sigmund. How are you today?
I'm doing great, too, and appreciate you being on, and you can tell us about your company, tell us about your guest, and we'll get going.
Okay, thanks for having us again. Standard Supply is a distributor of heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration products. And what we do is we inventory products from all over the world so that when the best contractors in Texas come into your home or your business to solve an air conditioning, heating, or refrigeration problem, we have those products ready to help them. And we've been doing that since 1946. You can find out everything you'd like to know about our company at ssdhvac.com. That's ssdhvac.com.
And you guys are really keeping up with the cutting edge of technology, and you know you've got everything that people need for their HVAC, right?
We do, Sigmund, and I'll tell you, the technology is like every other industry. It's advancing very rapidly,
right?
Much more rapidly over the last several years than it did for the first 10, 12 years I was in the business. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I've got Mike Wells as my guest. Mike is one of the owners of Express Heating and Air here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They actually have two offices, one in Crowley and one out in Weatherford, west of Fort Worth. And you can find out about them on their Facebook page, which is Express Heating and Air, and spelled out. And they're in the process of rebuilding their website right now, but their Facebook page has a link to that URL that'll be updated when they finish that process. You can also call them at 817-501-2447. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
You're
thanks
welcome.
for being on, Mike.
So tell us a little bit about your background in the HVAC industry, how you got into this type of work, and then tell us about Express Heating and Air and what you guys do.
I actually got in air conditioning for one reason. When I was about 17, my air conditioner went out. I had no idea what was going on with it. It was the middle of summer, so I decided to go to school for air conditioning so I could fix it myself. I'm more of a do-it-yourself kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked various companies, school districts, you name it. I decided to go out on my own and just help people save money. Just like me, I was poor, didn't have no money to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we offer financing just to help people that can't afford expensive AC repair work.
You know, that sounds like the best story that I've heard about somebody wanting to go into AC is, hey, I needed to fix mine, you know, and you have obviously a large interest in that, and then wanting, you know, coming from as you said, a poor background, understanding that pricing and cost and all those things, and having somebody who knows what they're doing, so you're not spending money where you don't need to. That's important.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So, Mike, tell us a little bit more about what you guys do and maybe what your service area is and how you started the business.
We service from pretty much from Cisco all the way to Frisco. We got a wide range of area. We do new construction, residential change-outs, service and repair, light commercial work, remodels, anything that you want for air conditioning, we pretty much do it.
Okay, well, that's great. Now, there have been some changes recently that have been announced from the U.S. Department of Energy that are going to affect our industry. Can you talk to the listeners about that a little bit in layman's terms and about how that's going to affect systems that get replaced in the near future?
Going from the 13 SEER to the 14 SEER, it's basically the higher the SEER rating is, you know, it's less energy cost.
So what range of SEER ratings are available in the market today? What kind of different SEER choices do you offer to your customers?
We offer from 14 SEER up to a 23 SEER rating.
Oh, okay.
Mostly I try to go with the mid-range from 14.5 up to 17.
Okay. Well, a lot of the listeners probably don't know. It's obvious to you and I, but SEER actually stands for Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. And basically, in our part of the world, that means how much energy does your system use when it's cooling. So, what are some of the reasons why a homeowner would want to install more than the minimum 14 SEER?
To help them save on their energy bill. That's what it comes down to, is saving. With the economy growing as big as it is, we got more and more people using energy.
Mm-hmm.
So the higher SEER rating can help cut back on that.
And also, it seems like the longer you'll be able to stay within the parameters of what the government deems an adequate SEER rating.
Yes.
I mean, if you start at the very bottom, 13 SEER was the bottom just a couple of years ago. Well, now if they're going to move up to 14, anybody that's got a 13 is going to be out of compliance. So if you get somewhere in the middle, right, you're gonna stay in compliance longer.
Yes.
Yeah, let me explain about that a little bit, Sigmund, because a lot of people probably don't really understand how that all works. It just basically means what you can replace with when a replacement is required. So right now, 13 SEER still is the minimum as far as what can be installed between now and June of 2016. You can still get a 13 SEER system installed. After that, 13 SEER systems will not be legal to be installed in our part of the country anymore. And that kind of leads into a question that I was going to ask Mike. Are there any reasons why someone would want to go ahead and install a 13 SEER now before the new rule takes effect?
Yeah, if you're looking to save a little bit extra money, go ahead and get it. But it's not really, you're going to eventually have to go on up to 14, 15 SEER eventually. So might as well do it now.
What if like somebody has a rental home or a home that they use occasionally as a lake house or something like that? Would it make sense to go ahead and replace that now while they still can with a 13 SEER?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Sure. So how do you go about helping your customers decide what's the right level of efficiency for them?
It takes in a couple of things. Depends on how much insulation they have, window.
I mean, what you're saying is basically you don't want to put electric car type of motor in a car that weighs 50,000 pounds. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. So you don't want to put a 23 SEER air conditioner in a wood frame house with single pane windows and no insulation. You'd be kind of wasting money there.
Yeah, it's not really helping you any.
So how should a homeowner proceed if they have a contractor into their house and they only offer them one level of efficiency?
I would ask them about other efficiencies. Always get more than one bid. That's why I tell my customers, even if I lose the customer, I still tell them to get more than one bid.
Sure. And is that kind of an indication of what type of contractor they might be working with if they only offer them one level of efficiency?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mike, tell me about what efficiency that you typically recommend for most of your customers.
I recommend the 15 is what I mostly offer.
Okay. And what's your reason for going with the 15 level?
It's kind of what we were talking about just a second ago. Just you're going to have to upgrade to higher efficiency. You're still going to save more money.
Sure. So it's worth that upfront investment to go a little bit above the minimum.
Yeah, especially if you're going to stay living in your house for a long period of time.
Okay. Well, that's good information. And I wanted to thank you again for being our guest today. Our guest is Mike Wells. He's one of the owners of Express Heating and Air out in Crowley, Texas, or Weatherford, Texas, depending on which office you're talking about. And you can find out about them on their Facebook page at Express Heating and Air, or give them a call at 817-501-2447. And I'm Lance Malone with Standard Supply. You can find out about our company at ssdhvac.com.